let's check the tax reports. Well, reports, I still have to do them. And I still need to calculate how much I need to pay people. How much do you pay the guards again? Maybe the Lord Commander's already there. Oh, hello! Oh, well, you're there already.
Good evening, sire.
Good evening, Lord Commander. Good evening, Salandri. Well, just come in. Just come in. I was going to ask, how much are you going to pay your guards again? Because I needed that for a report. Well,
It's
report.
20 gold nuggets, sire.
Oh yes, 20 gold nuggets. Well, how are you two? And, well, basically, just how is the city right now, most of all? To be honest.
Well, from my current oversight, we currently have a complete farm, stables have been finished, and 2 lumber yards are complete. We are now starting work on the secondary mines.
That is very good. That is very good indeed. And Lord Commander, how's the guard?
So far, very good. I'm waiting to hire some more guards.
Yes, that is good. We're more here to talk about, well, the recent plots, to be honest, and your latest report, of course, because...
Yes, my report. As you will see, I have it all written down for you. Though there is some unfortunate facts, which is that we can no longer find Tyrion within the city walls.
Oh,
He seems to have gone missing.
That is indeed regrettable. Yes. Well, let's read your report, of course. That was
Yes,
the tax
sir.
collection book. Well, okay, so Tyrion has gone missing. What can you say about the associates? Is the group still dangerous to us, or?
So, as I will briefly tell you, I had Tyrion arrested, well, you did, my sire, and when questioning him, he seemed to be very reluctant to offer anything. So, in the hopes to have him indirectly offer information, I asked him to recruit a group to go to Roruk in order to gather some information.
This Orc City, I believe, isn't it?
That is correct.
Oh, yes.
And in the midst of him recruiting, I noticed that he had a very quick list of people. This being, of course, an indication that he knows them. And it would be proactive to keep an eye on them to ensure that they are to the utmost standard of loyalty.
Yes.
However, he sent me a letter regretfully informing me that he was no longer going to take the mission. And when I asked the guards to go and arrest him for his actions, he was nowhere to be found.
All right, that is indeed. Well, these are good news, but I believe the group itself, it's, well, like you say, it might not be as dangerous anymore. How about the guards, those corrupt guards? They're still a threat, Lord Commander?
I don't think so, because I've been making sure that all the guards have been putting their armor away, making sure all their gear is fine. And if I find any damage to the armor, I ask them to make sure that they haven't been using it for any reason which is not required.
Yes, indeed. I do prefer that you only keep the most loyal guards to guard the castle. The others just send them on patrols until we're more certain.
Aye.
Indeed. I'm just reading a report right now, and I'm seeing something. It's called the Faceless Man.
Yes, one of my agents had approached me on only about a day or two ago, and he informed me about a dark-cladded man who came before him delivering a letter. Now,
Yes.
he told me that several people had been approached by this man, and from what I remember, they didn't get a good identification of him. They couldn't see his face as it was covered with a mask.
Yes.
Which made me think that perhaps we should look into the one man that Red had recommended us to look at, who had been yelling profanities and speaking ill of the elves, who happens to also wear a mask. But this group appears to be trying to recruit for some actions that I do not know yet to what they are doing.
Yes. So, of sorts, this kind of replaces the group that Tyrion had with his plot. It's a new plot, I suppose.
Indeed.
There are the same men involved. That is interesting, because is the group of Tyrion really finished? Did we finish off this plot? End it without bloodshed? I'm quite happy about that.
Yes, but it does seem like those who are more affiliated with Tyrion have an inclination towards treachery, it would seem.
And how could we deal with them? I mean, you have before counseled patience and not to do any executions too soon. Maybe the same council this time?
Perhaps.
Perhaps. Well, we should investigate these faceless men, know what their intentions are, like the other plot. And then we might judge for better actions, I believe.
Aye.
Indeed. Well, there's one more thing I need to talk about. It's more an idea for the next council meeting. It's about the establishment of a bank. A bank where people could get, well, our citizens, because obviously we need to pump money into our economy, and citizens could get a small loan. I don't believe a big loan, maybe 35 gold nuggets or 60 gold nuggets, something like that. With low interests on a long period, yes, so people could have money to spend and the economy might slowly work.
This would make sense, for I think the main issue with the previous group had been that there was no money, and thus people were more easily bribed.
Indeed, and that would exactly. I didn't think of that. That would work against bribery. What do you think, Lord Commander? Because I remember you were counselling me a lot on financial matters.
I totally agree with that, sire. With the plan of having a bank.
We'll have to, of course, have the guard enforce people if they're not paying. I mean, those will be long-term loans and with low interest, but still they will need to repay eventually. Because we can't keep, well, our treasuries aren't infinite either. Well, if that's everything, I suppose we can end this meeting now. Yes?
I suppose that we can.
Alright, well, you may leave. Yes?
Let me speak to you more privately, sire.
Yeah, of course, we can go to the back room.
Shall I take my leave, sire?
Yes, you may take your leave. Thank you. Yes, Salandri?
So, after this night, I have gone to the elves.
Oh, yes.
After hearing about the events that happened to your unfortunate servant, I decided to, of course, go and see what their side of the story was. And they have told me something quite interesting.
Oh,
and it might have some connection to these faceless men, though I am not entirely certain on how this may be.
That is interesting. I mean, I remember my servant telling me that he went to the elves, he was captured, and there was some sort of threats from the elves that they would try to harm the king or things like that. But I suppose you know more about that.
When I spoke to them, they seemed to not have any problems with it. You had said earlier that the threats were in regards to us going into their territory and taking down trees, as well as mishandling our own trees, correct?
Exactly, yes.
Yes. They voiced no such anger or animosity towards that, though they do insist that we stay upon our own land from now on.
As we insist that they stay upon their own when they're for their new village, I suppose. It's sort of temple.
It's only fair.
Yes, it's only fair.
So,
yes.
I found that explanation of your servant was odd, given the fact that they had given us permission to use these lands as we will, as long as we promise to replant and reseed the land upon use. And according to them, yes, one of their own had taken the servant, because the servant had insisted of burning down the forest. Sounds familiar, does it not?
Sounds very familiar indeed.
Which is why I think that there might be a connection between these faceless men and this incident. Because even some of the members I suspect to be a part of these faceless men speak in similar tone. And even more strange was that according to the elf who had taken him. Now, of course, it wasn't the elf who told me, for his tongue had been cut out. by vampires.
Yes, I remember. Because some elves came to me for an audience. They talked about some sort of potion that could bring some body parts back. And they needed a diamond for that. So, as a good gift, of our gratitude and our friendship with the elves, I gave them one. So I believe maybe that was the man that cut the tongue out. That could explain things.
Yes, and according to him, in order to save his own skin, the servant told the elf, or told the vampire, I should say, that he was going to help burn down the forest and destroy the Alliance itself.
Well, we have to keep notice and say to our elves government that, and of course to ourselves as well, that these are only some small extreme factions. I mean, I remember some elves talking to me or insulting us because we were cutting down too many trees. I don't remember the elf council telling us that. So we should be careful, but yes. It's better we do some surveillance on these groups. Well,
Yes,
as you always
and
do.
I have a list of these men now, and it does seem like it is a growing group. I count 4 amongst their number. But there are some plans I have to potentially reveal them, though it would have to be done very quietly.
Well, their group might be growing, but I think there are only some leaders. The others are just, well, maybe bribery. We don't know. Well, thank you.
Nice, sir.
Continue your work. It's great as always. I shall continue reading your report in more details. And
Very good, sir.
see you at the next council meeting, I hope.
Aye, and hopefully we'll get this treasury all figured out, especially the rates of tax.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm only interested.
And hopefully you can ensure that your guardsmen do very well at collecting the taxes.
Oh, they will, I'm most certain. I'll put Rowan on duty. Have a good day.
You as well.
Let's go back to the quarters. What a day already starting. I should visit Illyria now.